Have you ever wondered what would have happened if Muzan decided to kill all the demon moons? Let's be honest, Muzan assigns all his dirty work to his demon moon pawns, and we have been itching to see our Michael Jackson look-alike in battle. Come on, how much do we have to wait? With the help of this theory, we're going to drag him into the middle of all the chaos. So, sit tight and get ready to have your minds blown. It is only fair that we divide the theory into 3 different scenarios, which will help us come to a coherent conclusion at the end. The writer would probably end up cringing if she ever saw this theory, but hey, it's not every day that you get to enjoy new Demon Slayer content. Starting off with the first scenario, we'll pick it up right from where Muzan kills the lower moons out of infuriation at the end of season 1. However, the twist is that he was so caught up in his bloodlust and anger that he ends up killing the upper moons as well. It sounds merciless and demonstrates how Muzan is the strongest demon out there. As soon as he commits the heinous crime, it would probably fuel his rage even more now that he barely has any support left. Having no demon moons means that he has to take matters into his own hands rather than letting his demon moons deal with it in the next few arcs. Muzan would immediately look to ambush the Mugen train and catch Tanjiro, Inosuke, Zenitsu, and Rengoku off guard instead of Akaza. Of course, our beloved heroes would totally be oblivious to this wicked conspiracy. Imagine their surprise when they see the Demon King himself ready to annihilate their existence on the Mugen train. At this point in time, Tanjiro's sun breathing would be at its weakest, and we all saw how Akaza defeated the mighty Rengoku. So, things will go way smoother for Muzan as he will look to kill them all swiftly. The Demon Slayer Corp would take an enormous loss when the news of the utter decimation of the entire Mugen trainer passengers reaches Kaguya. They would have absolutely no time to mourn the loss of our protagonist and the fan-favorite flame Hashira. The mayhem that will follow would give Muzan a massive advantage, considering that he can simply assassinate them one by one. He would no longer have to worry about a sun-breathing style Demon Slayer too. Amidst the confusion, the Hashiras would try their level best to unite against Muzan. It will all be in vain since Muzan is most likely to go after Giyu and Gyome as soon as possible due to their calm composure. It will be quite a fierce battle as Giyu would attempt to avenge his fellow water-breathing user Tanjiro. However, with a rather one-sided victory for Muzan, the Demon Slayer Corps would find themselves in turmoil with hot-headed Hashiras left to defend against this vicious enemy. I'm sure we can all predict what happens next. It would be a terrible sight to see all of our promising Hashiras succumb to the unparalleled power of Muzan, who will lay waste to anyone that stands in his way. Thus, the Demon Slayer world would find itself surrounded by evil and darkness. Such a tragic end for our heroes is something that I never want to see. I bet that we're all glad that the writer never went down such a heartbreaking route. Moving on, the second scenario follows a similar beginning. We're likely to see Muzan go through with killing his demon moons, but this time around, he'll choose to lay low afterward. Let me tell you why. As his anger starts to subside, he will soon realize that all of his top dogs are no longer there to fight his battles. Muzan will find himself in a dilemma which will be the cause of his downfall since he'll be exposed to all kinds of threats. I know it sounds far-fetched, but bear with me. This mistake will be pivotal for the success of the Demon Slayer Corps. The news of Muzan being the one and only enemy left will invigorate the Hashiras into training really hard. Tanjiro will finally be able to dwell deeper into his sun-breathing technique with the help of Rengoku and his father Shinjiro. Although it will take a lot of persuasion from a desperate Tanjiro to convince Shinjiro, he will eventually give in for the greater good of humanity. As time passes, the Hashiras will be more united than ever as they practice fighting together as a team to complement each other during their final battle against the dreadful Muzan. Just thinking about this makes me want to join them in their efforts too. Kaguya is likely to place Tanjiro, Giyu, Gyome, Rengoku, Inosuke, and Zenitsu together in a team to catch Muzan by a flurry of powerful combinations during the final battle. Meanwhile, Tengen, Shinobu, Mitsuri, Obanai, Muichiro, and Sanemi will train their technical prowess as a unit. Muzan's cockiness will eventually lead him to fight all of these Hashiras as if they are ants in front of him. As he advances to the Demon Slayer HQ with a small but weak army of his own, our Hashiras will prepare themselves for the battle of a lifetime. Being unaware of how much the Demon Slayers have evolved, especially Tanjiro, Muzan is ought to find himself in a pickle. He will tremendously regret his decision to kill his strongest demons, but we all know that he is pretty intellectual sound too. Despite the odds being against him, Muzan will try to split the Hashiras so he can pick them off when they are isolated. This cunning tactic will allow him to injure a few of the Hashiras such as Sanemi, but it won't work for long as they will see through this ploy quickly and regroup. The former Hashiras such as Jigoro, Orokodaki, and Shinjiro will come to play their part in the final battle too. An extraordinary squad of this caliber would overwhelm Muzan at the end, and the horrifying sight of Tanjiro's sun breathing will shatter all of his confidence. After a long fight filled with casualties on both sides, the Demon Slayers will come out on top after revealing Muzan's crippled body under the sunlight. Although this scenario is too good to be true, it does have a blockbuster vibe to it which the fans would love in an alternative universe. The last scenario might be the most realistic one. Instead of killing all the demon moons together, we will assume that he kills the lower moons at the end of season 1 and the upper moons after the Entertainment District arc. Seeing Ryotaro fail against Tengen and our main characters, Muzan would lose all hope in his remaining demon moons, so he would cold-bloodedly murder them all. Now, Rengoku died in Mugen Train arc and Tengen would have to retire after the Entertainment District arc. This means that two of the strongest Hashiras are already out of the picture. However, Tanjiro, Inosuke, and Zenitsu had a lot to gain from these two arcs as they ended up with a ton of experience and exceptional new powers. Knowing that Muzan is now actually aware of Tanjiro's sun breathing and raw talent with limitless potential, he would approach the whole scenario pretty carefully and logically. Muzan would smartly choose to face Tanjiro as early as he can, before letting him master his power completely. The best course of action for Muzan would be to lure Tanjiro deep into the woods by being discreet and showing a glimpse of himself to Tanjiro, who will definitely chase him down in a fit of rage. This way, Muzan will cover himself in a veil of trees, preventing any potential mishap of being exposed to the sunlight. A provoked Tanjiro would proceed to call himself down and face Muzan with all his might. We all know how this fight will pan out, but seeing the sun breathing technique with the unreal tenacity will make Muzan falter and remember his humiliating encounter against Yoriichi. So, Tanjiro is sure to make Muzan flee the battle like before and reassess his options. With his pride hurt, Muzan would not back down and try again, but the knowledge of his seclusion and the lack of powerful demons will force the demon slayers to make a move. Since they no longer have to fight various upper and lower moon demons in the arcs that follows, their main focus would be to defeat Muzan once and for all. Eventually, they will have to collide and settle the score. A lot of the Hashiras will end up dead and Muzan will have to play his cards right to succeed. Who do you think would win in this all-out brawl? With that, we conclude this video. I think it's fair to say that killing off all his demon moons is a bad idea after all, though the original storyline doesn't get any better for Muzan too. I would love to know what you guys think about this theory in the comments below. Coincidentally, are you curious about what would happen if Muzan also turned Tanjiro into a demon in the first episode? If so, go click on this video to find out.